Yeah, there.
Hi, a very good afternoon and a warm welcome to all of you all here. We are going to wait a few seconds and allow all our guests to join in. I am Ravi, your host for the session. We request you to utilize the chat boxes for introducing yourself and saying hello to your friends, your business colleagues, and people whom you've known. You may please use the chat box to introduce yourself to each other. Thank you. Hello all, a very warm welcome again. This is Ravi, your host for this session today. We are waiting for all our guests to join in, and we request you to please stay connected, and we will begin the session shortly. In the meantime, please utilize chat box. I see a few chats already coming in. People have started saying hello and introducing themselves. Please utilize the chat option to network and let each other know that you are present and attending this webinar with us today. Thank you. Dear all, a very good afternoon. Thank you again for taking time out, attending this forum with us. We are waiting for the guests to join in, and we will take a few more minutes to begin this session. You may say hello to each other. You may say hello to the panelists. They are all online, and please utilize this chat box. You may find the chat box in the middle bottom of your screen. Thank you again. Hello all, I welcome you again. Some of you may have attended our forum last week, Business Renaissance Forum. It is our honor to host you today again with our esteemed panelists and guests on the dais, online dais through Zoom. Please stay connected, say hello to each other through the chat boxes, and we will shortly begin the session. Thank you. Hello all, a very warm welcome. This is Ravi, your host for the day. I represent Massive Frankfurt trade show organizers, and I'm a team member of Media Expo. Through the exhibition Media Expo, we have all been connected in some form. We've done businesses together, we have met each other in person, and we have known each other from distances. With tons of thanks, we, Massive Frankfurt and Media Expo, would like to thank you for giving our time today connecting with us. As a trade show organizer, we understand the importance that we have to keep the world connected through the physical mediums of exhibitions and through online Zoom connects. Today, we are presenting to you a Business Renaissance Forum 2. Most of you or some of you may have attended this forum earlier, wherein we had brought a lot of knowledge your way, insights of the industry. Today, the topic and the theme of this webinar is sustainability, the underlying trends in the advertising industry. Through this forum, we are going to bring a lot of insights your way, how the future is going to be, how the present scenario has been. Without taking much of time, I would love to introduce you to Mr. Santosh Nyer. You may have known him through your previous connects. For a quick introduction, Mr. Nyer has been one of the industry experts for almost 3 decades. He holds expertise in digital printing spaces across the globe and have been instrumental in bringing latest digital printing platforms for brands as well as providing them printing solutions. Currently, Mr. Nyer is working with DCC as an associate director. He primarily focuses on providing sustainable solutions in fabric and sublimation space. Not to mention, Mr. Nyer has been instrumental in shaping up the HP Hewlett-Packard latest business in the previous stint. Mr. Nyer, over to you. I see we all are there, and please take your stance. Thank you.
Hey, thanks, Ravi. I appreciate. I'm truly humbled with whatever you said. Appreciate that. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon to all the panelists. Thanks for taking your time out and being part of this business forum renaissance, which is primarily all about revival, renewal, and reinvention. I mean, these three words have kind of suddenly gained so much of importance in our post-COVID era that everyone is like trying to work around these three words. I mean, if you look at it from a pre-COVID, it was all about, realigning to the trends that was happening, tweaking a little bit here and there, and then you were still back on track. But what has happened post-COVID is that it has completely taken us to the drawing boards, and we are all restructuring ourselves. We are recreating our strategies. We are rethinking, whatever have we done in the past, is it remaining the same, or we have to change our stance? Because the human behavior, the consumer behavior has also changed on the other side of the spectrum. So from that aspect, we thought, like, let's come together and, let's the signage industry understand what are the changing trends happening on the brand side of it, and what is it that we can bring value to you, not only from the overall, your aspect of brand movement, but from a sustainability aspect as well, which has suddenly taken, we have been pushing sustainability for the last decade into the system, and some stalwarts over here would appreciate that. But in post-COVID, it has suddenly become the mainstream. I mean, everyone's talking sustainability in their product features, in the way the campaign is rolled out. So we thought this is the right way and the best way, we all can come together. So on that note, I would like to, thank every attendees who's here and taking time out. And we would definitely take some cue from the host of Extreme, some of the topmost panelists from their diversified segments. Still, they are mainstream for signages from the printing industry. And I think, today we will be able to get a lot of cues and a lot of understanding, and probably polish our individual strategies in such a way that we can add value to their, the brand commits and the brand campaigns that is going on. So without taking much of the time, I would take the honor of introducing, our first panelist. Uh, I invite Mr. Prashant Parida, Group Head, Marketing, Okaya Power Group. Welcome, sir. Welcome to the panel. I really appreciate the time taken up today.
Thank you.
Just to give a heads up, Mr. Prashant has been a stalwart, and he knows much better things than what even I know when it comes to digital printing in the flex industry and all those. He has been a stalwart. He has been associated with a lot of large format printing segment. And looking at what Okaya Power is, the group is that, they also have been one of the fastest growing companies in the field of batteries, in infra, in infocom, in energy systems. And I think their world-class product lines also lies on innovation, integrity, trust, and customer engagement. And I think today it will be very interesting to hear Mr. Prashant's view on how to, how we are supposed to go ahead with this. So thank you once again for joining. Our second panelist is Mr. Sumit Kabra, Director, RR Global. I think one of the true blue MNCs of the world, which has been, one of the most preferred, brands when it comes to wire and cables, and the phenomenal growth that has been seen by them with the brand name of RR Kabil has taken them to almost 7 continents and to almost 80 countries. And they are constantly working on innovations. And I think safety has been their cult, their and I think around that they have been very, very successful. So Sumit, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Santosh.
your time. Our third panelist, obviously, Mr. Vivekanand Pandey, head. He is one of the guys who has been what do you call, we move 1.5 billion people a day. I mean, that's what a statement. This is inviting Vivek. He's the head digital business for Schindler's India, and as they rightly say, they take care of almost every people who walk in and walk out of the infrastructure. And I think they are one brand which is directly connected to a consumer's mind, and I think the kind of convenience that they give is something where I think it will be very interesting how we can, what all aspects we can gather from the way Vivek is going to put it across to us. So that's great, and thanks Vivek for joining. Appreciate that.
Thanks, Santosh.
Our fourth panelist is Mr. Puneet Mittal, co-founder MagiGrid Building Solutions. Thank you so much, Puneet, for joining in. One of the best innovators in recent times when it comes to construction technologies. And over a decade, I think he's almost touched a million life with almost 200,000 homes. And recently was also awarded the most preferred brand by the Brick and Block. So a great entrepreneur and I think a visionary in his own state and mind. So welcome and thanks for gracing the forum. I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Santosh.
And our fifth panelist is somebody, Ankur, one of the guys who looks at beard as an extension of the persona. Correct? I mean, so he's basically one of the heads new channel development for Bombay Shaving Company. And his tagline is great. We make your shaving experience smoother. I don't have it, but I still can understand how it is.
You can definitely have it. So it would look good on you.
Okay. Well, one big thing that Bombay Shaving Company did is that they were the biggest brand disruptors, I would say, in the segment which was completely undisputed. And I think they, in the last 4-5 years, whatever they have been, I mean, they've almost touched 12,000 acclaimed people, and it's growing leaps and bounds every year. So it is great and interesting because you're directly connected with the consumer behavior. So it will be interesting to know your way of brand engagement. So thanks, Ankur, once again. And our last but not the least are Mr. Dr. Harshal Sawler. The doctor, my God, it's so heavy term, And Dr. Harshal Sawler is one of those young Turks, who changed the landscape of real estate. He himself is a doctorate and a great real estate enthusiast. And he's a co-founder of a company called M Reality. And no better time it would have been to understand the consumer behavior when it comes to real estate. And, what are those changing trends and, where does the consumer engagement with your brand identity can be connected. And I think it is the best time for us to understand because signage as a segment is also diversifying into decor and into infra and many things. So I think it will be very interesting to hear from your aspect as well. So that is our elite panel, and I really thank once again every one of you to take the time out. And before we start our questions, I would appreciate if we put across our first poll. So Ravi, can you just put the first poll for the audience?
Yes, sir. We are bringing it live. Thanks.
So according to you, what would be the most relevant and impactful mode of marketing in new normal? There are 3 options, which is signages, billboard, and ambient marketing. Please, we have 15 seconds for this, and then we will move on to our first question. Okay, oh my, signages, 59%. Ambient marketing. See, this is something which is gaining a lot of importance. I mean, signage has been the mainstay, but if you look at it, ambient marketing has been picking up a lot. And I think that's exactly what would be the discussion today coming up, So I completely understand from where this is coming from. So let's start our question without much wasting time. So, Mr. Prashant, first question to you as the most senior guy, and we all look up to you. So let's start with the question with you. So tell me, as a marketer with Okaya, at the Okaya Group, where you always have these four pillars of innovation, trust, reliability, and customer relationship. These have been yours. So how are you looking at evolving your brand engagement in the post-COVID era? What is your take, and what are those impactful mode that you see, and what is your expectation? I mean, in general, I mean, I want to ask this question to you.
Yeah, first, let me share an experience with you. I'm associated with this industry. I mean, although different industries also, but a major time is spent with the power backup industry. Battery as a commodity, as a product, is a misnomer. I mean, it doesn't have that respect what a lifestyle product has got. And I'm in this industry when primarily Okaya is into the inverter batteries, solar batteries, e-rickshaw batteries. We are, I mean, lot, everything you will find around you from your office, outside, everywhere, battery has a role to play, even in your automobile part. And being a misnomer and not being a lifestyle product, so it was a hell of a task to get that the prestige to this category part. And this I'm watching for last almost 28 years into the industry part, out of my 34 years with the different industries. And if I ask anybody the name a battery, so a particular name will come to everybody's mind. But we forget that battery has got so many applications which is around us, making life comfortable. And now the invent of lithium batteries, and you are talking about electric vehicles, we are talking about anything, your charging stations, now you're coming to the EVs. I mean, you name it, battery is there. Because when you're not going to fossil fuel, you have to avoid all kinds of the power backups part. At the end of the day, the battery is a solution part. So still it was not getting that respectability. And how I have evolved, I will tell you, this is interesting in the battery industry part. But 28 years back, we had that fabric banners on the road, posters, even the signages. I remember I'm in the industry since the time used to the hand painted signages.
Yeah.
Then the tin printed signages.
Yes.
The flags came quite late. Absolutely. So that's the reason it is more concerning. And let me tell you, when we talked about the signage part, I was saying that polling part. Yes, it is there. It will always remain there. I only just consider this particular phase as a pause, nothing else, right? I'm coming to the office for last 2 months. I think day before yesterday also, we were having this discussion part. When you start from your home till office, you don't see the blank all around. You need to see something part. So signages is not only confined to this one particular POS or something. So a lot of applications are there. The another interesting aspect I will tell you, during the COVID only, our office got gutted. Our corporate office got gutted on the New Year day. Very first January, it was the whole corporate office was gutted by fire.
Okay.
We were operational within 15 days in the adjacent building. We have a couple of buildings there. Within next 1 week time, we were operational, fully operational. And in next 2 months time, believe me, because we were 100% operational. We didn't have a time for a interior decorators going for the interiors part. And this marketing team only, the creative team only, the complete interior was done by the team only. And you know what we used? We used all vinyl, sunboards, flags, only these items were used. So it's all about the innovation part, how far you can think, what all you can use. And I invite all of you, anytime you are here, this side, just come to our office and see how we have done with vinyl, flags, and only these mediums only, right? So you have that. It's all about yes, signage industry has a very big issue. So far, I as a user, I have also felt part, is the quality part. You have because you are from HP, and I had been prescribing okay, this machine, the printing machine has to be this when we specify the printing part, printing quality part. In Delhi that time, I still remember in year 2000 used to be only 5 or 6 machines in the whole Delhi. but the signage vendors were more than 1,000. Right. So you have a very middleman culture in the signage industry part.
Correct.
And then the labor is not skilled. Okay. And what we are talking about today, sustainability, we are talking about ecosystems, we are talking about green tech, we are talking about, it's a huge knowledge gap, and the cost part. Today, people are not willing to pay a particular cost for a particular quality, and we are talking about it going for the ecosystem. So I think that balance is required. Time, it has to evolve with the time part. So quality is one issue, price is one issue. I think the organized industry has to come up with the better solutions part. There are a couple of industries, couple of companies who are providing the end-to-end solution also in the signage industry part.
Correct. Correct.
Otherwise, majority is only that middleman part. You collect someone, I mean, how many square feet of flags you have to assign, those things part. But the quality is very, very important. And now for the SME particularly, I always say, you focus onto the SME only first. Those are the people who are really waiting for the better things coming to them part. Cost is not always a good parameter part, because the after demonetization, the things, the way they are changing, see a lot of unscrupulous elements are getting out of the system part. Similarly, the industry also getting organized part. So a lot to be done. But believe me, signages are going to be there. Otherwise, nobody wants his house is not decorated. Similarly, a shop simply cannot be without a signage. You have the in-shop branding opportunities are there. And this is a pause, as I said. And now it depends on the category part. My category is something, a product you cannot sell online. Very limited scope. A 10,000 bucks product, you have to go to the shop, feel it, see it, and it is a prescriber product. I think Sumit will also agree with me, because somewhat similar kind of the category part. It's a prescriber. Prescriber product. It's a prescriber product. You need to go there. And once you go there, you don't go to a blank shop. You don't go. You have a lot to do. So, and when I say it's about the category part, since the day lockdown is open in Delhi, right, our offices are operational since May. Believe me, we have the highest ever May sales and June sales. Highest ever. So people have to go out. People will certainly go out. Yes, when we talk about the innovation, where the technology is involved, very limited scope, because it comes at a cost. You have to have that spending. You simply cannot jack up your budgets like this. You have to find out those opportunities. Digital also has a very, very important role to play, but that is only up to the reach, as I shared day before yesterday also. It is all about reach. But when a category comes where you have to feel something, when you do go out, you need to have that outdoor still is relevant. But important is key, it has to form into because signage is not, I mean, how you check? I had last year, I had installed almost 25,000 signages all across the country. But how do I track it? How do I track the warranty? How do I track the quality? How do I track what is? Dealer simply doesn't take care of that part. You just install, use and throw kind of.
Process is something which is needed.
So these are
you need process to be in place.
Exactly. The media manufacturer or installer or the integrators, whatever you call them, if they provide end-to-end solution in an organized manner, they will be much better placed than the other counterparts. So I think this is my take on this part. Prospects have not diminished. It has come to a pause only.
It will take off again. Thank you so much. That's great insights, Mr. Prashant. And I could see, your passion and your entire backup of experience with the signage industry. I could really gauge, you know everything in and out. So that's great. Excellent. Well, my next question is to Sumit. So Sumit, at RR Global, again, safety is again the topmost priority. That goes without saying. And everyone, I think, it's like it's on everyone's mouth. Whatever which is the best RR Kadal. That name is very admired today. So how are you looking at your branding strategy? Because again, it's nothing that which can go in an online model, but it is still something where, it's all about safety. So how are you kind of educating your customers? Is anything from a brand perspective you're thinking?
Good afternoon, everything. Same what Prashantji said earlier. The respect factor same lies with us as well. We are in a sector where 97% or probably more than that people don't know which is the wire at the home, right? It goes behind the wall. So at the same time, we are fortunate that people doesn't know that this kind of business can happen also. So we have to fight within 3% of the business keyword, right? So when I say it goes behind the wall, it is most ignored sector, right? Now, when it comes to safety, safety is something not to be prioritized. It is something a culture of the organization, right? So whenever product you launch, it has to be considered first, and then only you have to launch. Now, when it comes to safety, it's not on the product; it's on the organizational level. So when I say the production side, also equally we are taking care that it should be safe for us, for all the employees working with us, right? So this is a
Very
culture
true.
adopted in ARA Global, and which is the most important criteria for us before launching any of the product. So when I say safety, you know what we decided, the fire cases, if you notice, there are like thousands of people dying every year. And this is something of very, very ignored. The people dying of shock because of the short circuit is like in thousands, 12,000, 13,000 people die every year it can do. So how you are going to restrict this, right? How you are going to take action. So 1999, we designed a wire called Unine technology, UCT technology with edge halogen free flame retardant, where, you know, we burn through the lighter and we used to show a practical demo. The ash used to form and is to brought down. The fire is to not propagate further. And this is the wire which we launched the first time, and that's the reason people recognize us for the quality and the safety. We were the first one to do in India, and still with the UCT technology with halogen-free insulation, we are the only one in India. So this kind of education we have done to the ground reality. So when we say ARA Global, we always had a customer-centric approach. And who are our customer? Electricians, right? From the day one. An electrician always used to understand through signages only. You cannot go with a TVR or something like. For them, whenever they enter into the shop, what is something is visible, they will ask first. And you know the shop sizes is hardly 5 by 5 or 5 by 10. And in this kind of small things, how to manage it with the small signages which attracts them. Okay, what is this? Why this brand is here? Is something was very, very important for us. So how to
So
create kind of
impact is
BTL
necessary,
activities?
right?
Sorry. Yeah. So how
Impact is what you're looking at, an
yeah,
impact and
yeah,
an engagement.
engagement. So we did a lot of engagement activities with them. So we used to call, like, we used to go in the villages with a small bus. We used to arrange the snacks for the electricians, like, okay, tea and coffee session, like coffee with Karan. So same way we used to have coffee with electrician. That's the concept we adopted that time. And we used to explain them while having a small cup of tea. That's the free time there. We feel the mental relaxation, and we used to explain them the product where they can be listen with the open mind. It's very, very important. You know, they are very busy guys, more than us, to be very frank, because they have got so many work. So we used to engage with them a lot. We used to make them understand, boss, this is the difference between other wires and our wires. And this is where the brand managers come up. So you cannot stop it. We have to touch. What is brand? Brand is something like a emotional and the touch points around the product. So we have to touch all the points wherever it is necessary, right? So one was the electrician, the second was the interiors and architect. So we went them as well. We used to piece them also, although they were not the much decision maker on the wire, but we used to piece them as well. So that if electrician recommends, they also bang upon. Okay, they also second that. Okay, this is a wire which has to go in the home. So all strategies went in our favor through signages. You can say we used to do ground level activity. So if you observe us as a brand, you know, first 10 years, RR Kavi started in 1999, and you won't believe we are in top three in India right now. None of the electrical sectors in wires and cable industry or electrical has been emerged like this. All our competitors, all our peers are like 45 years old, 50 years old brand. To compete this kind of gens, it was very, very tough journey. So we have done a lot of BTL activities initially. First 12 years, if you ask me, none of the people brand name, it's not a common name in the market earlier, before 12, first 12 years. And then after gradually, once our BTL became strong, our electrician became strong, our architect became strong, and then gradually we started coming into ATL activity. So it was very much strategized. How in 2014 we launched with the consumer durable products, and then we started with fans, lighting, and other things. So we developed an ecosystem where we gradually converted from a wire and cable and logically, if you ask me right now, now we are a one-stop solution from wires and cables to anything in the home required. And that's the brand image and ecosystem we have created to become a
So,
consumer durable brand.
so Sumit, which means that again, when we are talking so much of safety over here, so I think the way you're presenting your brand also has to be in the safest form. So
Right?
where, sustainability and safe modes of printing and display is going to be very critical.
Right.
Correct? I mean, that has to be reflect in your brand ethics as well, the way you're presenting yourself.
So, Santosh, absolutely, it's very important. I will just give a small example again. We launched with the immersion rod. You won't believe our geyser sale is below 10% or 12% max. The rest is the immersion rod with the college university guys uses, right? We came with the epoxy one. We never came with the normal Bakelite one. Although it's a 100 rupees expensive, but our criteria was to make the get the safest product. For us, the life is very important.
Cool.
This is something which have to be taken care. So we take a very minute care. Okay, this is the product is safest for the customer. What you are selling to a customer? If you ask that, Santosh, you're selling a satisfaction. You're selling comfort to a customer, not the product. And if you keep these two things in the mind, your strategy centric, you will always come with the safest product, which gives satisfaction and comfort to them.
Thank you so much. I mean, that is a big cue. I think even the signage industry needs to take as safety. If we have to display in the brand, we need to be sustainable and also in the safest mode. So let's go for the second poll before I move to Vivek. So can you just put up the second poll, please? What, according to you, will be the key role of print industry in the rebranding process? Providing sustainable print solutions, providing new application for brand connect, provide value-driven ecosystem for efficient execution, or embrace digital and provide a mix of digital and static solution? Cool. I thought so. The last one, embrace digital and provide a mix of digital and static solution. That's gain. Now if you look at this particular trend, this was never seen before. Digital was one side of it and print was on one side of it. People never thought they could ever correlate or coexist. But I think, the industry is looking at a very different trend, and I think it's very heartwarming at this stage. So thanks. That's a great thing. Well, let's move to the third question to Mr. Vivek. Hi, Vivek. So your brand is purely, as a functionality, it is the most well connected, to end consumer. In our day-to-day lives, we take escalators, we go through the moving walks. So considering this new dynamic that has come, where a consumer is very cautious, how are you trying to emulate that through your brand connect? I mean, what is it that you are doing it as a top priority from a brand connect perspective?
Yeah, thank you, Santosh. As you introduced our brand as we move, we rather say we elevate 1.5 billion people across the globe.
Right.
We do care for them at the same time. So as we play a crucial role in vertical transportation, and with this COVID, people have apprehension about boarding the elevators. So we do have come up with solutions where we call it clean mobility solution, where the air purifier is there, UV cleaner is there, and also we have a port system where touchless movement of the people can happen.
Okay.
However, I will not go into that detail. I will rather push myself towards the marketing side.
Yeah.
So it is not, COVID is myopic for me. And you know why COVID impacted a lot of us is because we were looking at short term. If you look at long term, the way sustainability says, COVID will be just a halt, as Mr. Prashant mentioned. It's just a pause, and we will be going ahead. In that case, if you look at our brand, we were looking at elevators as assets instead of just a medium to transport. It's an asset. And we wanted that asset to become a communication platform.
Exactly.
And when I say making an elevator or escalator a communication platform, we kept two things in mind. And this was happening way back. I mean, like 3 years ago when COVID was not even there. So we wanted that those assets to communicate with us, the manufacturers, the owners in one way, and the other way, the end passengers. So it should be communicating both ways. What we did, we used Internet of Things and we connected our elevators. So our elevators talk to us and tell us. I can show you when you visit our facility, our head office in Hawaii, that we have a setup, we call it Technical Operations Center, and you will find elevators interacting with us and saying that the heat is going up. Can you check this? Can you do these things? And that message goes to the service people right at the location, geolocation, and it gets triggered and they go there and they service it. That's the way they are interacting with us. With the owners, they're saying your availability is this, usage is this, electricity consumption can be this. So these are the way they're helping the people on this side. Now, communicating with the end passenger, that is very important. And as Prasanthi said, the signages are important. If you look at elevator, when you press the door button, all you do is to look at the door. You don't do anything else.
Absolutely.
So we thought, let's make waiting interesting. So we came up with a solution where we can use the space of the door and have our internet IoT connection to project advertisement, information, and engage with the customers. And that's one way while you're waiting for the door. When you go inside the elevator, there are walls, closed walls, and all you see is the wall or the people's face. So then we came up with the solution that we will replace the wall with a smart screen, which will look like a mirror. But once you board the elevator, it will turn into a screen, which will give you a 3D. And of course, there are many things which can catch the attraction. So this
so primarily here. So here I think, just to cut the whole thing. So what I understand is here the mix, the poll that we just did, the digital and the static together will actually have a better impact in your kind of a scenario. That segment is more about engaging, where I have a static print over here, but at the same time there is a digital model as well, which is going together. So I think that amalgamation is what, I think in your segment will suit well. And I think that's where the industry needs to look at you from both sides. I mean, it's not just static, but even digital as aspect.
I will cite one example, if I may. So we did an experiment in Europe, and what we did, we took one of our five-star hotel customer, and we placed the smart mirror in the elevator, the car, and we asked them to give a normal spend or buy of the particular cocktails. And then we chose two of them which were not being sold in last, say, 2-3 months. And we started advertising it in the card. The feedback was, and we started giving certain discount with the QR code. And people started asking for that cocktail, which was not being sold.
Wow.
And the next thing is, with that QR code, you're reaching to the most prized possession of the human being as of date, that is mobile. So that's how you can connect and engage with the customers. So it has to be a live journey throughout.
Great. Thank you so much. That's a great feedback. And I think the signage industry needs to really listen to what you're saying. That's a great form of advertising. Let's, Puneet. Hi.
Hi.
Yeah, the most suited guy sitting there. So, innovator. So I really want to understand your thought process in terms of rebranding your company, because you have always innovated before time, especially in the construction, which is considered a very industrial stuff, So innovation over there is very industrial for us, but it's a basic necessity. So how is your brand connect happening over there?
So hello all. I would say I think you are, Santoshji, very right. We are, primarily the strong B2B and B2B brand always. I think Sumit said that 97% people doesn't know what the wire is. I think 100% of our customers or the end user doesn't know what is there in the wall. So because we manufacture those blocks, nobody knows.
Exactly.
So for us, Ultratech or the cement industry was the target. Okay, why they are doing branding, right? Because there is nobody else in the building material industry who is doing branding. Probably they have the deeper pockets, or they want to just, because it doesn't care to me whether the cement is Ultratech or GP cement or any other cement per se. But it's just that they have branded themselves that Ultratech is the best cement or ACC is the best cement that they have tried to do. Otherwise, the user doesn't know. So for us, a similar pattern was there, that either we have to spend a lot of money to become a brand, or we have to do the normal standard B2B stuff, in which, you know, the point of sale advertising is the only way out, where we can have our retailers or the distributors have their signages in their office or their small shops. So for us, that was the only option. And second was a strong marketing team. We have probably marketing guys on the field, senior people with their juniors. So in the northern and western India, so they go to each shop or they go to each builder and promote the product. So which was a long-term thing, which was the immediate thing, I would say, meet the builders. But this POS thing has helped us. The rebranding for this product is we have now targeted to shift from this offline, strong, hardcore offline to online, because what we have observed in last 4 months is shops are not opening. So, and you know, marketing guys cannot meet the builders or the distributors. So what we thought, let's start something on online. So we have, you know, started branding on this social media from LinkedIn to Facebook and Instagram. So it was a very organic way of advertising on the online. What we have done, another thing is made our website very strong. So we have leads coming, the SEOs are very strong, the keywords have been very strong. So what we have observed, so this has broken the, you know, thought process of ours. So what we have found in last 4 months, more than 50%, you know, more than 50% of the business which is converted from leads is online. So which is a very surprising number for me as well, because I thought कि ना कोई बिना देखे, as you said, कि बिना देखे कोई block नहीं लेगा या किसी का word of mouth नहीं होगा तो नहीं लेगा. But we realized कि online शायद has helped us, but I don't know ये कितना longer run में रहेगा. I think still the point of sale point will come, or the signages will come in picture gradually when this COVID thing will go.
Yeah, actually, I agree. I mean, I think in your case,
so there has been, I don't know how long.
Yeah, I think that stopgap arrangement is more online, but I think when it puts off, I think, you know,
will, come into play. So because we are a strong B2B always.
Absolutely. So your switchover will be very, you know, it will happen as depending on the situation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, correct. Great. Thank you so much. Should we go for the next poll, or yeah, let's have one more poll, please. Where will be your focus on investments post-COVID to the service brands? Is it on new technology? Is it on sustainable solutions? Is it impactful signages, or is it operational excellence? Okay, sustainable solutions, 41%. Well, it's quite balanced. New technology is at 26, and operational excellence is at 21%. Impactful signage is at 13%. So I think sustainable solution is definitely on the cards, and I think every one of us is rethinking their strategy in terms of what is to be provided on a sustainable level. Great. Now let's move to Mr. Ankur. Hi, Ankur. I mean, you have been one of those trendsetters on and online stuff to begin with, and then, you know, kind of created that entire. In these times, how are you redefining your brand engagement with end consumer?
First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to Mr. Frankfurt and Media Expo for giving this opportunity to me to be part of this webinar among all esteemed panelists present today. I hope all our viewers are keeping safe, and I pray that you remain that way in future as well. Now, coming to the question, in the post-COVID, we at Bombay Shipping Company are now actively engaging with customers and giving an assurance of safety and sanitization. Offline sales are taking ahead, obviously, but on other hand, the sale, online sale is seeing a surge. All our processes from getting the product manufactured to packaging and warehousing are now refined to people, to give people a sense of comfort and quality. And we at Bamboo Shipping Company are now going deeper into analyzing the customer data and knowing the requirement better. So the return on advertising spend has increased considerably, owing to the fact that consumers are digitally at home, and then social media is now our age. So doing live session, collab, etc. has become very easy, and it's being liked across by Japan and our DC also. In recent activity, when we were have to do a Rakhi campaign, we changed the theme from Rakhi to Suraksha Bandhan, which wherein we added mask and sanitizers and kit and other products, and personalize it with their photos on the product to get a closer to get closer to our consumers as well. Also, we have been working with a lot of micro influencers to create our digital campaign more effective. I think celebrity engagement is not being done effectively in this scenario because shooting and all those things are difficult to do. But micro influencers on the digital space, like on Instagram and Facebook and all those things, is easier to manage. And also, we are doing a lot of activities on LinkedIn where we are getting a lot of traction. So we as a brand are like we have omni-channel presence. We do online sales, we do offline sales. We are also present in B2B category because our product is like that. Obviously, I think because of this, a lot of things have been changed. And likewise, I think more brands have started to deliver online and building digital first communication.
I think you're
enabling them
you're cracking, Ankur.
Yeah. Okay.
A lot of disturbance.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was saying that more brands have started to deliver online, and building digital first communication, enabling them to build data-led intervention and experiences for their customers that drive better value and helping them to build community-based approach. So, I think the mix of digital and offline brand communication is the key right now, wherein we can actually create an experience on digital, the similar fashion we were doing on retail, so that we can get more traction out of it. So this is where we are actually doing a lot of activities, and I think in a lot of elements which are there coming in the what do you say? Which actually can give you a lot of tractions on retail space are also coming in foldable manner where you can actually save cost in terms of transportation. Also, it can be actually made a little interactive like experience zone kind of a thing, wherein you can actually get a consumer experience driven approach. So that is what we are doing at Bombay Shipping Company in these days.
Cool. That's very interesting. Again, the same thing, amalgamation of digital and static and giving a consumer experience is going to be the next big thing. Well, hi Harshal. Sorry to keep you waiting, and but you're definitely going to be the key puncher over here. So you're a real estate enthusiast for sure, and you have been, how to say, you have set your own trend in terms of real estate, how real estate is to be perceived, and personalization is gaining a lot of trends. There's a lot of trends which is coming to personalization in the real estate, and so in COVID times, how has the consumer behavior changed, and how do you relook and rebound your brand in reality from a customer perspective? What are your plans? You're mute.
So first up, as a real estate developer, honestly, this is one of the first webinar where I feel I'm extremely lucky because relatively in terms of communication, even if we are just communicating that work is going on as normal, it is perceived as a huge achievement in today's time. So, relative to all the speakers that I was listening to, I feel it's a good space to be in. But yeah, jokes aside, honestly, I think, the last 2 months of the lockdown has thrown a light on a lot about how your home spaces are, what the deficiencies in your homes are, etc. I mean, we've never spent so much time into our homes. So literally each and every component of the home and, its utility is now thrown upon. So a lot of focus in terms of consumer preferences is how those square footage is being used. So, the same 1,000 square foot could be used in so many different ways. So this whole culture of bringing in efficiency in the planning was completely missing in the industry. The whole buzz about only price points and selling was there. So I think now customers are taking a pause because they've spent 2 months in their homes. Now they're very weary about what kind of planning they are getting into. So that is one. Second, consumers have realized, in between there was a fad for last 2-3 years, wherein it was about millennial culture. Renting a home is cooler a thing, much more savvy rather than buying homes. And the way things have panned out, clearly we are seeing a lot of people changing their preferences to buying. Affordability still remains a question. But however, in days to come, I think with reduced interest rate, etc., that piece get addressed. But nevertheless, I it's relatively a simpler, only pure communication as developer fraternity we are looking to do is things are normal, sites are functioning, work is happening, and homes will be delivered. I think if we communicate these 4 messages, we are still good and we are still home, as far as our
So I think in your case
achievement
as well,
goes
is
in
it
terms of having
98
the right
plus
communication.
So in your case,
So
still it
it's
is the amalgamation
primarily
of both.
so it's primarily digital now. Given that we want to showcase that how consumers, how the sites are progressing and how consumers would be safe if they come on the site. So a lot of videos around there to showcase how the site discipline is. Also, a lot of consumers are shortlisting properties principally, by seeing videos, by seeing, the walk-in throughs, virtual 3Ds, etc. So it's like our website is now our sample flat. Our sample flat is secondary. So digital has gained much more importance. It's a complete 360-degree turn from what a developer strategy was, which was, being on the front page jacket and, just painting the town red with all the hoardings to do a launch. So I think that clearly has changed. How long is to be seen, but for the season, flavor is clearly not that.
Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Well, while we go for the second round, I would appreciate if audience has any kind of questions to be asked, in between, before I go into the second set of questions, which will be short and crisp. Any questions which is there, which, they want to ask the panelist, it would be great. So it's there in the questionnaire box. So let me ask this one question, I think. Oh yeah, okay. So Mr. Prashant, there is one question for you. Printable textiles are also available now for indoor application as referred by you. So how can you, what is your opinion on that? Will it be better for environment as well from your brand perspective?
So it depends. I am not aware about what technology, what medium, what chemical compositions are. I'm not an expert on that part. It's up to the industry part. But what I meant that time, when the industry starts innovating, I was talking about the opportunities available part. Because the couple of vendors had come when we were doing this interior. This was because one of the often examples only. Everybody doesn't do that part. But why it came to my mind when I was trying to think what kind of opportunities can be explored. It happens. So that time when I was hunting for the vendors, because you have to select the right medium, and it's an office, it's a work place. So anything and everything cannot be used. It's a huge building, almost 20,000 square feet office, 3-story building. So there were, something for outdoors, something for one-way vision. One-way vision is something, a beautiful medium. See, you use it from outside, you need to have a lot of infra to install it. You use it from inside, then the whole thing. So you have to think about the creative accordingly. You have to think about the durability accordingly. Whether sun exposure is there or not, all those things. So it's up to the industry part what solution they provide us. I was just talking. See, one thing I can here share. Almost my all esteemed fellow panelists here. I have worked in the electrical industry also, one of the majors in the country. I've launched switches and wires and cables. I worked with the real estate industry also, like what Harshal was sharing. I think they are one of the biggest guzzler of flax, right? And just come to Gurgaon and see Even if you do anything, so it is beyond my kind of a product category. You do anything, any kind of a research on a property, but when you go to see the sample flat, it is a mela. It's, I mean, you have to have that fanfare all around there, and the kind of the gantries and all those things, they use the flax part. Similarly, I've been in the industrial product category also. There was a very nice thing which Vivekanand also shared. The off late. I mean, today he's sharing that what is inbuilt in an elevator. But what we had been using the out of home facility as part key, a new segment has come up in Delhi kind of a market is the elevator signages.
Elevator signages, absolutely.
So, and is very good for the condominiums and the societies where any after sales service product, you have a right information right in front of your eyes throughout the time you travel up and down. So,
Correct.
I mean, it's all about the innovation. This is what I'm saying. It's all about the innovation part.
How much weightage you give in all this in the environmental aspect? I mean, that was anyways my question.
It is a concerning time now. Times are evolving. We also have to evolve with the time part. When you're taking care of so many things, so why this particular domain should be neglected? So as a marketeer, we have that moral responsibility part. And as an industry also have the same responsibility. At the end of the day, the twain should meet and they have to decide that part. Excellent. Because it will take time, but you have to start somewhere. You have to start. Otherwise, the other aspect is the regulation. Tomorrow, regulation stops you. Before that, it is better that you take a wake-up call and decide that part. I think that is very important.
Thank you so much. Appreciate that. So I'll move to Sumit. So this is something once again that has come up is, so how does your advertising, I mean, when you say from an environmental perspective again, so what is your suggestion to the technology providers? I mean, especially since you are more connected with the contractors and they move to the shops, what is the next big thing that you would want from the technology providers who can help you more in that brand connect? You're mute.
So as a technology, it's not for us, it's for everyone, right? So if you see in last 2 decades or one decade, if you can see, technology has reached home and changed our own behavior. Now earlier, if you see a financial planning, right? What is now? Paytm is at home, right? Earlier we used to be waiting for the car. Now car is waiting for us to Ola and Uber. Entertainment, we used to wait in the hall. Now the hall is coming, pictures are coming at home, entertainment. All the industry's factors are changing. So digitally, yes, it is going to change. The best part is like, okay, technological awareness, when I say contractors and other things. So one thing is like paper saving is a very big thing. Distribution management system is increasing. So everyone is going digitally. So there's an amazing funda which has come in last 6 years, if you ask me, that is called making a customer as a partial employees, right? There's a funda which is adopted. So like a very classic example which Indigo started, right? Or Starbucks did it. So what we are doing whenever we enter into any of the shops, we Starbucks, we take our coffee ourselves, right? Nobody serves to our table. Same way the technology is going to happen in every industry. So we are installing distribution management system where the contractors or probably our all distributors will run through DMS. So our backend goes away, and that's where we save the paper or everything else get digitally. So if you see our Scooty, right? We are launching with Scooty now. Everything is paperless. So whenever the customer comes to our Scooty nearby in the technology as well, so he has to just scan the QR code. We are not printing any brochures. None of the brochures will be printed for Big House. So when the customer comes near the scooter, he scans the QR code and the brochure is on his mobile. So this is kind of technology, PWA it is called. We have been adopted and we are coming in the future. So obviously the technology is must, and the consumption, I will say, on the paper side and other time side is going to be saved, and we have to adopt it.
So primarily, just to add on to what you say, so does that mean that even on the people who are your vendors who provide printing solutions to you, they also need to have some environment friendly solutions with them, which is more giving more carbon benefits and carbon credit?
Absolutely.
Will that also become part of your your benchmark as when you benchmark a technology partner?
It has to be, they are our stakeholders. So we consider that, okay, it has to be the whole ecosystem driven. So everyone has to adopt that.
Great. That's a great point. Appreciate that. Thank you so much, Sumit. Appreciate. So Vivek, how much weightage you would be giving to sustainability and, environment in your advertising? I mean, I'm asking this from like the last question that I asked Sumit was that, will certification of a technology help you, will be the most important aspect in your case? What do you see?
Sorry, I'll give a very cliched example of cake and icing. So your solution is the cake and certification is the icing.
Okay.
They have to go together.
Well said.
And as far as I believe sustainability and environment is concerned in the world of advertising, it is always going to be relative till the time we reach a stage of circular economy. That circular economy, which is a utopic situation, till we reach there, it is going to be relative. So this is greener, then this is greener than that. Nobody can say it's absolutely green because you will be consuming the carbon somewhere or the other, or indirectly, if not directly.
Correct.
So one such example when I was staying at Switzerland was, it was very awkward for Indian to see laundry in the basement and paying per use. So these washing machines are installed by the company, the washing machine companies, and they charge you per uses. So that's a state where we have to reach in each and every product and solution. Then you can be green or greener. Again, that will be greener than the solution.
Wow.
What I will say, look beyond 5 years. You will see electric vehicles coming in. We are already seeing his electric e-bikes coming in.
Yes.
You will see electric vehicles coming in. There will be charging stations for sure. The charging stations can be self-sustained. There can be solar panel. The station is sustained and the charger itself can be used as a signage. So we can have a signage on the charger and then you can own those charging stations. You can run it by people paying for charging their cars.
The ambient advertising is definitely going to be the next big thing.
Yeah, and it will be self-sustained and you can make profit out of it also.
Absolutely. And I think recyclability of product line is also going to be very critical when you talk about circular economy. I think recyclability of all the material that is being used today for your brand requirements has to go into that circular economy. I think that again would be a key factor which the signage industry has to look at. That's great.
When a company goes for a flex advertising, the wastage should be accounted for by them, not by the media agency. So
Absolutely.
they have to look for solutions which is greener.
Greener, absolutely. That's a great point. I hope so the signage industry is listening to what you said just now. And so Mr. Puneet, what's your take on the transformation? Advertising, sustainability, where do you stand?
So first of all, Vivekanand, thank you for the idea. So because we are into solar, we are just started manufacturing lithium-ion battery. So probably we can have a vehicle from Sumit and have something like this. So that can be a good idea.
Outdoor agency is going to come to you for sure.
We too have both. We too have both.
Yeah. So yes. So Prashant, I send you a personal message for that also. So we'll discuss on that. So regarding the transformation,
Puneet, I have a paper published on this, so the copyright remains with me.
Okay, done. So you're patented over here. Don't worry. I'll tell the Autoform guys to come and meet you guys.
Right. So the transformation, as in, I think, so as I said, for a B2B business, it has to be again the POS thing, point of sales advertising. Now innovation in that can be a next thing. So I have heard this neo fencing thing. So what we can have, the POS can be digital. So we can have screens. So there are few of my partners, one of my partners as in friends who are into digital outdoor screening. So I got this idea from that. They can have screens in our shops to the retailer shop. Then they can, have the connection of the Bluetooth between the phone and the screen. So they get the message on the phone itself. So that is digital. US and digital both integrated. So I think that can be the next big thing or the transformational thing from static to dynamic and from dynamic to mobile. Brilliant. Right. So that is the transformation which I see is going to be the next thing for in the next 2 to 3 years, probably not far.
Excellent. That's a great point once again. Thank you. So Ankur, so just very crisply, if you could say that what are those key aspects you're looking from your vendors, especially when you're more digital and the combination is there. What would be those sustenance point of view that you want to put it across?
The Indian corporate ecosystem has already been pushing for sustainability for a while, taking into consideration the robust capital infusion which has happened. The key to growth driver. Post-COVID world is actually being tightening the nuts and bolts and doing more things, but doing them a lot more sustainably. Making strategic choices which actually are more oriented towards the economics, reducing impact on supply chain and the environment. So I think I would still say that the corporate world is ready to accept the change, switch over to the sustainability not only in packaging and manufacturing but also in using natural ingredients. So Bombay Shaving Company has recently launched a colorful shaving foam, so which actually bring the spice to the boring category. Now we have an addition of charcoal shaving foam. We also have turmeric, coffee, apple cider, and sensitive shaving foam. I think superfoods being the key ingredients which entice the consumer to be like eating our product. So that actually is I think the key mantra is actually being frugal in the key keyword now. Save more wherever you can. And as everyone was saying here in this, we should have more reverse logistic in place in terms of as a brand, which wherein if something can be actually put it in the store, we can actually take it back and can be used in a recycled manner. So that is something which I can actually.
Recyclability is definitely on the cards.
Absolutely.
Yeah, cool. That's great. That's and Mr. Harshal, your closing comments on environmental stuff that you would expect from the signage industry in the real estate. No more flex?
So I think clearly the message is to reduce the carbon footprint, and consumers are respecting the initiatives we take, whether it's adhering to the green building norms or in whatever activities we do, marketing, advertising, making the buildings. So clearly consumer will give a brownie point or a preference for green building initiatives and green marketing initiatives. So that's here to stay and will only grow further, I think.
Cool. Appreciate. Thank you so much. We are on time and great inputs, great insights, and I really thank you for some great thoughts that have come. One thing that has come out is digital is going to stay, but static is also going to stay. And it is all about a pause that needs to be pushed. And I think post that we will see another new signage opening up. So thank you, panelists, and I give it back to Ravi. So Ravi, it's all yours.
Hi, Mr. Nyer. Thanks for this delightful talk, a very knowledge and a streamlined session. I was so happy and mesmerized to see that people from different diversities, having had different experiences, to young entrepreneurs, sharing a strong camaraderie during this talk. Like we rarely get to see that. So kudos to the contributors. A very big thanks again to all of you in the panel. I saw how you were actually talking and kind of cross branding each other's work, which again was a unique factor. Though this talk, the business forum, has clearly defined and given us a perspective what's coming our way, which was the purpose of this talk. And I saw a few questions coming in from the audience, made a lot of sense. I want to thank all the attendees who took time out and believed in us to put this forum together. Once again, we will be coming to you again if there's another series coming, and most important, we will shortly be announcing and connecting with you all on the next Media Expo information. As soon as we have some more updates, we will have the team reach out to all of you. If you have any questions, please reach out to your immediate and respective people in the Media Expo team. And I thank you all again. Thank you so much. It's been a great talk. It's been a great session. Thank you.
Everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Ravi. Thank you, Santosh, and thank
Most
you, everyone.
welcome. Most welcome.
Thank you.
Stay safe and healthy.
Wish all safety. Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll catch up soon.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll connect.
Yeah.
Okay. So bye, guys.